What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Four Eyes and the Giant podcast. We're back. Last 2 weeks ago was our season finale, and this is our season two.
Season 2 coming at you.
Our premiere. That's the word. You can see I'm well into it today. I am Jordi Steele. I am tall. I am 6'5", ladies. Today I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Cameron. How are you doing?
I am doing very well. I like that I've been promoted to co-host. Sometimes you just talk to me like I'm some kind of just lowly person that hangs around here sometimes. But I'm
my companion.
I'm co-host. Companion. That's what it
My
is. Yeah.
assistant.
It's nice. It's nice. It's great.
Yeah.
I'm doing okay. Doing very well. Feeling well. So that's always good.
Today's episode is being recorded on Friday the 11th and will come out on the 14th of June. And from the 14th to the 20th of June, 10 years ago, it's a big one, Cameron.
Okay.
We saw these following releases. On the 16th, we got the feature film, The Smurfs.
With Neil Patrick Harris. What a film. What a film. What a great time. You know? What a great time of a film.
Neil Patrick Harris. Was Katy Perry in that one?
Katy Perry must have played... One? No, she was definitely the first one. She played Smurfette.
Yeah, and Hank Azaria as Gargamel, of course.
Yes.
What a cast. We then, on the 17th, we got Bad Teacher.
Still never seen that.
Cameron Diaz. No, never. Cameron Diaz and Justin Timberlake. And probably a lot of other people. I think
that's not Jason Segel, is it?
Yes. I believe he is a fellow teacher. But he's he's a bad influence.
Oh.
I think. I don't know if he's a love interest. I also have not seen it. Also on the 17th, we got the Green Lantern film starring Ryan Reynolds, the Skarsgård, Taika Waititi, Blake Lively, Mark Strong.
Crazy. Could have been a good film if they tried.
That's sort of the headline for Warner Brothers DC production overall. Also the 17th, Mr. Popper's Penguins. Did you see this film?
I thought that was a Christmas movie, but
no,
that's quite. Is it not? I've watched it. I used to watch it at Christmas when I was little, but yeah, not little. I say 10 years ago I was 11, but I still used to watch it at Christmas. Yeah, I watched it at Christmas. I thought it was a Christmas movie. I assumed it to come out in December time, but hey.
Jim Carrey gets a bunch of penguins. That's all I can remember. There's probably a scene in Central Park.
The penguins wear a bow tie at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah. I just remember Jim Carrey has a scarf. And then that was his last film before he sort of disappeared for a bit. Yeah.
It was one of his last movies. He just sort of dropped off the face of the earth, and now he's back doing Sonic the Hedgehog and something else.
And then on the 18th, we got Cars 2, the sequel to the Pixar film, starring Owen Wilson. Not Patrick, whatever his name is. What the hell? I've forgotten his name. He's one of the greatest actors, one of the greatest actors of all time.
Patrick.
He was in Cool Hand. Doc Hudson.
Oh, I don't know his name. I don't know that name.
Oh my God.
I don't know. You don't know it either.
You talk about it while I look it up.
That was really weird. That was the one that Lightning McQueen's barely in it, isn't it? It's basically just Mater doing spy shit.
Paul Newman.
Paul Newman. A lot of Larry the Cable Guy, just fucking about pretending to be stupid. Yeah.
And Eddie Izzard, he's in that. He's the bad guy.
He's the main bad guy for the Lemons or whatever.
I remember this film. He?
No, he's the bad guy.
Yes. But it's a twist that he's the bad guy, isn't it? Because it's all about who's the bad guy.
Yes, because he pretends, and then but he's actually a lemon and rip off the sticker, and then it's like, yeah. Because he's a shit car.
Yes, and they're all about the new stuff, the new energy. And that was last year's 10 years ago releases. What have you been up to this week or these past 2 weeks?
I've been watching loads of movies for the first time in fucking donkeys. I got to go to the independent cinema offices for my work. Went to the independent cinema offices virtual screening days for young audiences and watched some international movies.
I saw that you were watching a lot of weirdly named
films. Saw stuff like Bilardo, Sweat, Sweetheart. What else did I see? I saw another one. What was the one first one I watched? It's been so many I've watched. Bean, yes, Beans was good. I liked Beans, and then Sweetheart was also very good. I struggle with international movies sometimes because I'm a very slow reader, but we got there in the end. I have nothing to add. What would you like? Would you like me to go for the movies, or would you like to just? No. I mean, it's like Beans was like the only one that was like decent, and then Sweetheart. Beans is about. Did I mention Beans last week, or was I talking?
Yeah, you tried to get me to watch it, but then I didn't.
Can't say that. Yeah, you tried to get to watch Beans when it came out, when it comes out in cinemas.
You were enthusiastic about it.
I was enthusiastic about it. It's about it was about a girl in 1990 Quebec who native Canadian. She's on it's like a big stalemate between the white people, like colonizers, and then the native Canadians, and they block off a bridge, and it's all just a coming of age movie set to that backdrop, and it's very, very good. It's very funny, quite emotional, good times. And then the only other standout one, really, because the international ones were good, but they weren't really that good. I mean, I saw Censor, which was the new horror movie that's coming out, which is basically about a woman who's has a tragic past and keeps seeing this. Finds this movie. She's a censorship person. She works for film censors in the era of video nasties. So when all these movies were getting banned for being just gruesome as fuck, and there's these murders are going on in the background. There's these. She's haunted by kind of the past, and she finds these movies that replicate her trauma from when she was a child. And she just gets very entrapped in it inside her own head, and it's just a great, very atmospheric movie, and I love the setting. It's just so cool. And then the other one was Sweetheart, which was a movie, a kind of LGBT movie, which was about a young lesbian girl who goes to a holiday park, just full. It's one of those ones that's full of angst. I don't want to go to the holiday park, mom. British movie, kind of like that. And then she comes, finds herself while she's there. That kind of film. You know, the ones where they all go on holiday and oh, I need to find myself. That's just very film festival-y. Which was
I was gonna say
yeah. It
sounds like something you'd see.
Yeah, I watched one called Days of the Bangled Summer last year at the Glasgow Film Festival, which is basically the same thing except he wasn't gay. So it was the only difference, really.
So do you think any of these films will have will be big talking points in the UK?
Probably, maybe Censor on the art house kind of horror scene at some point. I think that film house will be getting that in, I'd imagine. But these rest of these ones will be quite obscure, I'd imagine. They're all quite low key. I mean, Beans doesn't even have a UK distributor yet. It was looking for sale at that. It was still looking for the distributor, and the other ones will get a low key release. I'd imagine. Sweetheart digital only. The international ones might play in film art house cinemas, and then I said Censor will probably play in the big ass independent cinemas for a while. Do some midnight kind of horror. That kind of midnight horror crowd. When we'd see Mandy. Remember that kind of crowd would go.
It reminds me of Possessor, even though they don't really, from the trailer I've seen, they don't really look the same at all. It just reminds me of the film.
Yeah, there's an element of that. Yeah.
I really liked Possessor.
I think you'll like Censor.
Really liked Possessor.
Yeah, I really liked Possessor as well. Yeah, it was a good week. I've had a good week. It's been de-stressed.
This episode is brought to you by we're not allowed to. Cherry Vanilla Coke.
Ooh.
Yes.
I think we even had vanilla Coke before. That's interesting.
I found do you have U-saves anywhere near you?
U-saves?
I don't know
I've heard of a U-save. They're like, I think maybe in Leven there's a U-save, but like there's not one near me. We have like premieres and stuff. That's kind of like co-ops and premieres.
Yeah. There's one on Morningside that sells these and also Dr. Pepper cream sodas.
Oh. Oh.
Yum.
Interesting.
Good stuff. So I have I've got a new job. I talked about that 2 weeks ago, but then started working, and that's obviously why we didn't do the stuff last week, because my schedule was a bit hectic. But it's left me not really watching a lot of films, but playing a lot of video games. So I've been playing stuff like Subnautica, which, have you played that yet?
I've tried to. I think the crafting and stuff, I feel like I needed a guide to sort of like start me off, but I never like really, it never clicked with me properly, and I never felt like I wanted to just persevere through the first like hour, because I know that the first hour and a bit's quite a drag, isn't it? It's like trying to get everything together, and that's what I found anyway. The first hour and a bit was kind of draggy, just sort of like
Well, because I downloaded the PS4 version, played like 3 hours of it, and then realized there was a PS5 version, downloaded that. The save does not transfer, so I had to play it all again, but then I did all quickly. But yeah, I'm loving that. And one of my fellow chefs, because I am a commie chef, not a communist chef. It's like a French word. Well, one of my fellow chefs also plays it, so that's what we talk about when we're working. I've also, you've probably noticed, because I keep sending you stuff about it, gone sort of down a rabbit hole of nostalgia, because recently I've been watching lots of Yogscast videos.
Yes.
And lots of stuff on Minecraft, because Minecraft, I feel, is one of the greatest games of all time. And I know I'm 22, but it is one of the games that has had one of the biggest effects on me. And that is obvious by the fact that about maybe like 10 years ago, or like for the first 4 or 5 years of high school, a lot of what I watched on YouTube was Minecraft stuff, because since 2006 to 8, I have literally had an addiction to YouTube. I watch so much content online, and a lot of what I watched then was Minecraft stuff. I watched stuff like Yogscast and Hat Films and Chimney Swift and Game Chap and Bertie and the Excommunication series from the creatures, and I loved it. So I've been watching a lot of that. Lots of compilations, because a great thing about TikTok is that it's full of these channels which basically just take clips and stuff. Yeah, which is why I keep sending you clips of the Yogscast. So it basically just led me down a rabbit hole of looking back at what big parts of YouTube that I've seen throughout, and it brought me to a wee event called YouTube Comedy Week. Do you remember YouTube Comedy Week?
Vaguely. I remember vaguely YouTube Comedy Week. I also remember Science Week as well. That was one of the other YouTube ones they did. Remember they did like a science themed like week as well, did they not? Or something like that.
I don't remember Science Week, but I just remember YouTube Comedy Week being, for months, it was advertised, and it was this big thing. And it was so big that like I remember distinctly being me and my family, we went like to dinner somewhere, and I was so desperate to get back home because YouTube Comedy Week was on. And it was this huge event where they brought in every famous YouTuber essentially and did like a big variety show. And it had Smosh, it had Dan Is Not on Fire, it had Rhett and Link, it had Epic Mealtime. It was this huge thing that was just across the entirety of YouTube. So it was like the YouTube rewinds, but a whole week of it. And I was too young to know if it was a failure or a success. Looking back at clips of it, a lot of people aren't comfortable at the time. But yes, I just wanted to talk about that and see if you remembered any of it.
I don't really. That's the thing. I what year was it? Because I got YouTube quite late in the game, I guess. Like,
I think it was 2011.
You see, I think I was 2012. I think that was when I got into YouTube specifically. So I think there's a chance I've watched the videos, but there's
2013.
Was it 2013?
Yeah.
Then I must have seen something because there's no way I ignored that. But
Tim and Eric were there.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I've got to open the window because I'm actually sweating buckets. 2 seconds.
It's really hot in Scotland currently.
Boy, oh boy.
Boy, oh boy.
You get some birds chirping on my end.
Yeah. And just to sort of move the conversation along about events that we remember that happened a long time ago that take place particularly on the internet, it's E3 week this week.
It is, and it's very exciting. Did you hear anything about Koch Media, whatever it was? Like they did
I don't
the
know
Prime.
about that.
They announced that they were part of that new developer announcement thing. Koch Media. They were not the new publisher announcement, and I think they were going to show Payday stuff, but I'm not sure.
Oh.
But I don't think they were going to be that massive anyway. But that's happening as we record this.
Yeah, probably right now. Yeah. No, I don't. There's not a lot that I'm particularly interested in or informed about. We did an episode like this when we were doing the Ojai Films podcast. And we did
got 6 views.
Yeah, we did predictions. We're not going to do predictions. Don't worry.
No.
I just wanted to talk about it because there's nothing else happening.
No.
I'm just going to quickly look at the schedule because we have tomorrow Ubisoft, Devolver.
Future Games.
Is that tomorrow?
I think Future Games is tomorrow. It's tomorrow. No, it's midnight. So
Monday.
It's on the cusp. Future Games is Saturday into Sunday.
Nope, it's Sunday into Monday. And the Xbox one. There's not much.
Square.
Not much. Square and Take-Two and all that, but like, who knows? What are you a big fan of Octopath Traveler? Are you excited about the sequel?
Well, no, Life is Strange, and we're rumored to see Guardians there as well.
Oh yes.
And also, I want to see if the War of Wakanda is going to be any worth actually trying to reinstall Avengers again to play it. Like, since they're not adding trophies.
Still haven't played Future Imperfect.
It's like an hour long. It's like an hour long. I played it just to see what the 60 FPS 4K was like for it, and it was fine. You know, I mean, that's such a disappointment of a game because it really could have been so good, and but it just wasn't. There was no need to progress in the end game whatsoever. It was just so stupid. But for Square, I think Square is the most exciting for me because they have some stuff I'm interested in. Xbox could go anywhere for me because I'm not as a diehard Xbox fanboy as I used to be, but I'm not. I would say I am. I went to the shop today to go and buy Ratchet and Clank. I don't think I'm an Xbox fanboy anymore. I think it's one of those things where Xbox could come out and have a great show and really blow me away because I am still but it's somewhere. I really want to see Starfield. I want to see I want to see something from Bethesda that doesn't upset me in most ways. I'm also curious to see how they play with the fact that 2 high-profile Bethesda games are PlayStation exclusives this year, which is also funny, and they'll have to be at the Xbox show if they're going to be at the Xbox show.
Deathloop and
Ghostwire Tokyo.
Oh yes, that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like as you mentioned, Avengers didn't do well, and then Cyberpunk 2077 didn't do well, and those were the last 2 games that I bought. And I'm just not really. It very much killed my hype for anything video game related for a while. So nothing. I'm not looking forward to anything this week, really, because I'm not expecting anything.
No, I know.
The 2K's announcement of Wonderland almost got me there, but like,
I would get Wonderland. Wonderland looks exciting, I would say, and I'm not massive on Borderlands. I would probably buy Wonderland. But what else would they? I think going back to your point about the whole games state of games at the moment. I mean, I've bought more games than you, but I have to say that my excitement for video games as a whole hit peak at the end, midway at 2020, and then Avengers came out, and my hype didn't diminish for Avengers until quite long into the tail, I guess. Like that was sort of like, I still had hope for it around about November time, and then Cyberpunk
we played a lot.
Yeah, we played a lot of Avengers for a long time. We played a lot of it for a good few months. We played a good few months of Avengers, and even after we realized there was no content, we still jumped in a couple times and just mucked about in some of the vaults and that. All I have in my secondary missions at the moment in my Avengers account is just vaults and vaults and vaults and vaults and vaults, because I spent so long grinding the shield caches. So every time you go in a shield cache, you get a vault code. So I just have 50 vaults to go and do whenever. It's so stupid, because I spent so much time grinding those stupid fucking achievements to get the platinum trophy, and I'm so glad I did, to be fair, because it was worth it, because I got 2 platinums out of it in the end, which I feel was deserved. So that, and then Cyberpunk came out and just fucking demolished me. Like it broke my heart. It actually it was so weird, because they oversold it so much, and I'm so annoyed at myself for buying into it. I look back at myself in like November time, and I was like, I was telling folk, there's no way this could be bad. Like it's been like 7 years in development. There's no way they could fuck this up.
It's gonna have glitches, of course. It's just been released.
And then I couldn't play it. The first time I think I got home and put the disc in, and I couldn't play it. Do you know what I mean? I just like, I ended up having to bought it in the PlayStation as well, and the PlayStation 1 played a little bit better than the Xbox One, but also they both crashed about the same amount. So it was just you played it much more. You persevered much more than I did, because I just gave up after like 2 days. I was like, fuck this. I'm not touching this.
Yeah, I wasn't having as many crashes, and I wasn't having as many like game destroying glitches. I was pretty much just having really slow loading times. But I just, with everyone around me basically talking about how bad it was, I just lost any interest in it for ages.
I was having a crash an hour. I couldn't get through a mission, basically. I was just like I was crashing every hour on the hour, basically, and it was just soul destroying, really, in a way, because I was trying to get through all these missions, and there's a good game in there. It's just gonna take so long to get out, but
it was so bad it turned us into COD gamers.
Yes.
Because
something I never thought would come back.
The best game that's come out so far.
Yeah, Cold War really was great fun. Like the multiplayer in Cold War, people really shit on the multiplayer for Cold War, but I think that's one of the best Call of Duty multiplayers I've played in a long time. Like,
you get so angry so quick.
But it's so much fun. It's so much
fun.
On
Armada.
I fucking hate Armada. Armada is the worst map on the planet. I hate Armada so much.
Yeah.
But it just makes me want to cry. But If I could any map bar, the training ground one with the plane in the middle, that's just so good. You know, the one that's in the warehouse, and you can't use any of your airstrikes or anything because none of them hit. But you just set up a trophy system, and they just sit and camp in the corner, and then everyone throws grenades in, and all the grenades get exploded. You're like, great. And the zombies is really good. That's one of the most refined zombie experiences, I think, because we tried to go back and play the Black Ops 3 zombies, and we're like, fuck this. Nope, this isn't. We're not having any of this.
No. Yeah, that's why I'm replaying Last of Us Part 2, because it was so good. And I'm like, this is a really good game. And people need to stop saying it's bad, because it's just not.
Yeah.
There's just no reason to there's no reason to hate it apart from if you are homophobic and sexist.
There is, and I can't believe because you remember the run up to that, and I was just like, I don't fucking care about I don't care about fucking Last of Us. I don't fucking care about Last of Us. I don't care about this. And then it's become one of my favorite games of all time. It is that so it's good. Genuinely it's that so good. It's slightly long in the tooth. I would get rid of the stuff after she goes back to the farm. I think it's like a little bit like too overlong, where she goes back and fights Abby in the hotel. Is that in the hotel? Yeah, she fights Abby in the hotel or something.
Yeah.
And then I just think that's a bit too. I was like, oh, is this still fucking stuff to go? But yeah, but apart from that, excellent.
I love it all. I'm a wee Naughty Dog slut.
And that's the thing I hated over Naughty Dog game. I couldn't stand Uncharted 4. And I hated the Uncharted trilogy. I couldn't stand Uncharted 4, even though I went back and got the platinum. I suffered through and got the platinum. But I liked Lost Legacy a lot. So that says something about where it was. I don't know what's wrong with Uncharted 4. I don't know if it's just a case of the fact it's being too long. But I liked Uncharted Lost Legacy for its length, and it was a good challenge on its hardest difficulty as well. So it was actually quite enjoyable. But yeah, I'd love it. I cannot wait to see what they're doing next. I know we're really far away from even seeing what they're doing, but
yeah,
you know what I mean? It's I'd love to see what they're up to, just to get some hype in me. I mean, the only thing that's the thing, we don't know what Sony's going to do. Sony's not touching the one for June, I think mainly because of Ratchet and Clank, because they're mid-marketing for Ratchet and Clank right now. That's all systems go. I think we're talking early July for Sony, maybe, if we're going to get announcements. I know EA isn't until the end of July, but I think somewhere beginning of July, middle of July might be a good time frame for them because they'll let E3 die down and then be the center of attention for a couple of weeks, which is what Sony like to do.
Yeah, but Sony they've just had Ratchet and Clank, then it's Horizon, then it's God of War 2, and then is Hogwarts exclusive?
No, Hogwarts isn't exclusive.
What else? What do they have? They need something.
That's the thing.
To announce. They need to announce something.
They need to announce some stuff because all they've got is Horizon for the end of the year now, and they've got. And I don't even think God of War is going to be an early 2022 game. I think that's going to be a late 2022 game in the end. By the end of it, either that or summer. I'd love to have a summer game. I really miss. I don't know why no one releases games in the fucking summer, like Ratchet and Clank, but I guess, but like Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us 2 were so brilliantly positioned for my timetable of like life that it was just great to have something to play in the summer. So I wish they would get some of that, but I think Xbox could have a stacked end of the year in comparison to Sony. I think we're getting a fifth Forza Horizon. We're getting Forza Horizon in Mexico, I believe, is what's happening with that. Right. And Halo Infinite, and then just a smattering of other exclusivity stuff that they'll probably have, I guess, because they're
Scalebound.
It didn't look good. Okay, it never looked good.
Everyone got really Platinum Games. Is Platinum Games defunct, or was it just Scalebound that was cancelled?
Just Scalebound that got cancelled. Microsoft pulled the plug. They were like, maybe not. Yeah.
I think it's because everyone was so hyped with the first trailer they put out, and then they did the gameplay demo. And I think everyone was like, oh, this isn't what
it ran at like 10 frames per second. It was not equipped for the hardware at the time, so it just could not deal with anything. So it was just a bad look, and they just had to get rid of it, I think. Do you know what I'd like to see from Xbox? Just before we move on, I think you're going to try and move on. But I'd like to see another Rise game, and I think you would enjoy Rise: Son of Rome if you had an Xbox. I think you would enjoy that game.
Take him to Egypt.
Yep, do it. I know Crytek. I don't even know what's happened to Crytek because they made that game, but I think Microsoft own the IP.
Free Radical. Time Splitters, baby. That's the only thing that I'm excited for. But it's just been announced, so they don't have anything.
Where's the Simpsons Hit and Run remaster? That's what I want to know. That's what I want from Radical.
Well, the original game's trash, so.
You played the Simpsons Hit and Run, sir? It's a great game. I've played it recently.
It does not hold up.
It does hold up.
Not.
It really does hold up.
Your nostalgia is blinding you.
It's not because I played through to like Apu in like one day. It's like it's a short game if you know how to play it.
That's like every half hour for you.
What?
That was a wee poo joke. That was a wee poo joke.
Thank you for that, Jordi.
Welcome everyone to the weekly Watchlist segment. This is the segment we do every week, apart from weeks that we don't do the podcast. And we talk about films that came out last week that we saw. And also the week before last week, for this one, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
me and Cameron got to see A Quiet Place Part 2. Was it 2 weeks ago?
Is that how long ago it was? Is that how long ago it's been? That was May 31st. Yeah, that's oh my god, that's still in the time frame. Yeah. Not as good as the first one. I did enjoy it.
All right, you did enjoy it. Right, okay.
I just didn't think it was as good as the first one. I come back to I guess I was expecting something different and more in line with what the first one was, but then I've come to understand that they couldn't have just done another one because obviously we know what the monster looks like. We know how to kill the monster. There's not much danger in that that sense. So it was very much more action packed. Yes. But it was still good, and I liked that world, and I think it became more like The Last of Us than the first one. It very much just positioned into becoming The Last of Us the movie in a lot of respects. And I know that's sort of like, I guess, really pigeonholey and it doesn't do it justice, but at the same time there's so many little bits that just went it's like The Last of Us. Who
wouldn't want to be like The Last of Us?
I suppose. Maybe not the first one, but the second one. It's very good.
Yeah. But that's always going to be the danger with having monsters that are sound sensitive.
Everything's the clickers.
Yeah. So this film obviously takes place straight after the first film. If you haven't seen it, go see it. Why would you be listening to a review of the second film without having seen the first film? Hands on hips.
Me, sir.
But yeah, John Krasinski, he appears at the beginning, but unfortunately he died at the end of the first film. So they need another man to protect them because they now have a baby. And that man is Cillian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy sounds about right.
The boy from Peaky Blinders. He's a great addition. I think he works really well.
Yeah, he's just John Krasinski again, but in a less... Yeah. With less beard, I guess. No, he does have a beard. Yeah. So, he is just John Krasinski again.
Yeah, we do get... We get one instance of the iconic John Krasinski finger-to-nose shushing, where he sort of pushes his... he does it so aggressively and forcefully that you're like, I'm going to stay quiet. Krasinski proving himself to be a solid director with this film. Yeah. He just seems like a really nice guy.
He does, and he was really passionate. I really wanted to see the Q&A he did with Edgar Wright on Sunday, and I just couldn't get through for it, which was annoying. Because I was working. But yeah,
have you seen the Vanity Fair video of him explaining the opening?
I have not. No.
He's just he seems like a person who's he's like, he approaches directing as like, well, I'm an actor. I know what actors are like. So he's able to communicate and work with them very well. And he's very good.
It's come a long way from the Haulers.
Yeah, in the sound mixing department, in a film that focuses on sound, you'd expect it to be very good, and it is very good.
Yeah, I didn't think it was as... I don't know what it was. I don't know if the IMAX was playing up. I guess there was some moments where I tried to look behind me, but it was very much like... It didn't feel as immersive. I don't know what happened. It just... I think it was all the folk in the fucking cinema, though. Like, they were just ruining it for everybody.
There was a couple to our right that just stopped.
Yeah. In a silent
all
movie.
the way through. In a film called A Quiet Place, they topped. And I should stand up for myself more and tell them to shut up.
It's so annoying now because they're all 3 seats away, so they think they're quiet to themselves because there's 3 seats between everybody, and they think they're contained within this bubble, but they're not. We can all hear
Who talks all the way through a film? Even if if somebody was whispering to me the entire way through the film, I'd smack him.
Exactly. I want to smack you sometimes when I have a quip that I can't not tell you.
Yeah. So yeah, we thumbs up on the Roger Ebert scale. I'm gonna give it 1 thumb up as well. It's a solid film, not as good as the first one, but obviously sequels are always going to be hard to do. Then recently, we've seen In the Heights. We both managed to get preview screenings.
Yep. You went to the show film first in
Cineworld
Edinburgh?
Unlimited. Yeah.
No, you kind of went to the Cineworld one.
Last Friday, I went to the... it's good. The musical's really good. You've not listened to the actual musical, so this was your first time sort of experiencing everything.
Yeah. And I'm glad I did, because I hate like knowing the songs, I guess. And I don't know, I just think if you don't have that visual element alongside the soundtrack, I think sometimes you lose a bit, which is why I'm really glad hadn't heard Hamilton before. So Hamilton, hadn't heard like In the Heights for that, or, like, you know, just like all these adaptions and stuff I haven't heard. I'm hoping to see. I really wish I could see Dear Evan Hansen on stage before seeing, but that I just like to give it. I like to be able to see stuff. I don't want to hear. I feel like it's like spoiling the movie for you, like spoiling the experience for yourself. But I get why some people listen to it. It's just one of those things, I guess. But yeah, it was so great. I just loved it. It was just like, the music is so good. It's very Lin-Manuel Miranda. I know obviously because he wrote it, but like you can hear the bits of like his musical style, like in Hamilton, where some of the ways like the women sing is like a very Lin-Manuel Miranda sort of, like there's like certain notes and certain beats that they all sort of like connect with each other. It's very strange, but I like it. It's so good, and it was just very happy and very uplifting, and colorful, and it all just looked beautiful on the big screen. And I just can't wait to go and see it again in IMAX.
Yeah, John M. Chu is really good at doing like big, colorful set pieces. Yeah,
set pieces. I mean, the opening looks incredible. Like the opening is just like the first 8 minutes, and there's no wonder they put that on YouTube for everyone to watch, sort of sell the movie, because it is. The entirety of the opening number of In the Heights is just so well done, and just so. And do you know what? It almost gave me some hope for a Hamilton, like how you would do a Hamilton movie, but
really
not in the same. I know Hamilton's an opera, and this is a musical with like a story that's like talking. But there were some elements where I was like, well, they could somewhat adapt Hamilton in a way, but it's going to be very difficult. But yeah, back to In the Heights. I think John M. Chu was a great choice. He just directed that entire sequence so well. The entire movie just flows well, and it's 2.5 hours long. To me, did not feel 2.5 hours long. Like it just blew right through. And music is just so joyous and just uplifting. I loved it.
Yeah, and Anthony Ramos is really good.
2 thumbs up for me. Anthony Ramos is great. Melissa Ferrara as the love interest is amazing.
Melissa Barrera.
Melissa Barrera. I don't know why I saw who's Ferrara.
I don't know.
Melissa Barrera. Why did I think Ferrara? Fuck knows.
Melissa
Barrera is great.
Yeah. Then, so that's the big releases in the cinemas. The cinemas are back, baby. You can go to the cinema now. Also back is regular Marvel Disney Plus programming that's not Bad Batch. I haven't watched the Bad Batch episode today, actually.
No, apparently the Bad Batch episodes I've not watched the last 4, which is like bad for me. I've not watched the last 4,
right.
And I've heard that they're quite forgettable until this one. This one's apparently quite poignant in the entire arc. So I don't know.
Yeah, they were setting something up last week, so
I need to get on it. I need to really get on it. Oh well, Sunday I think I'll try and get Pin Kenzie down to watch it. Yeah.
But now, airing every Wednesday, every Odin's Day, it's Loki. Loki's back, baby. We saw him escape from his timeline in Endgame, and now we're seeing what he gets up to, what wacky adventures he goes on. It's directed by Kate Herron, who's directed episodes of Sex Education and Daybreak, and it's written by Michael Waldron, who seems to have the brightest future in especially in Disney's eyes, because
Kevin Feige loved him.
Yeah, he's written on Rick and Morty, and he's also written Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and he's also writing Kevin Feige's Star Wars project.
Yeah, he's having a great time. Good for him.
I've watched his interviews, and he just seems like a person who's really enthusiastic about like Marvel and all that. So usually when we do these Disney Plus shows, I would explain in detail everything, and it's very boring. So I just decided
it takes a long time.
Yeah, during my rewatch,
a long time.
During my rewatch, I just sort of wrote up questions about certain things that happened, so that we can do some rampant speculation. So let's begin. First question: was that Peggy Carter? Now I asked this because in the background of one shot, I think like as soon as very, very suddenly at the beginning, when Loki is in the TVA, there's a woman that looks like Peggy Carter, and it set the internet ablaze thinking, oh, is it Peggy Carter? Is this her from the timeline that Steve went back to? Ooh, is she an important character? It doesn't matter.
No.
If it was, then it's just a wink from Marvel, and that's it, and we're not going to focus it.
It would be funny if I like to think it was Peggy Carter from Agent Carter that was officially debunking that timeline is not part of the proper timeline. And it's just...
Possibly. Yeah, that would be very clever. They've definitely sort of put the final nail in the coffin of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes,
because some people
no one
think
wants
that's
to
still
admit
canon.
It. But yeah, I was like, wouldn't he have said that Coulson survived anyway to fuck with Loki more during that sequence? Would you not have like?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
someone has admitted it, and that man is Kevin Feige, who is in control of everything. Second question: is that Skrull important? There's a Skrull at the waiting desk of the TVA. Is he important? No. It's just a reminder that the Skrulls are now in the MCU, and we're going to see more of them up till Secret Invasion.
3. It's like Star Wars putting a Wookiee. It's like Star Wars putting a Wookiee at like just a random Wookiee at like a point. You know what I mean? Like just reusing costumes and shit they've got on taps that have to design another alien. Like, you know what I mean? It's just a nod and a wink to the fact that they've got this alien exists. Yeah, sorry. Go on.
Who are the Timekeepers, and what is the sacred timeline?
Do the Timekeepers not exist? You're gonna probably tell me about them, but they're not the same as the Watcher. Then they're a different sort of shit. Okay,
completely different.
But why would the Watcher see all the different timelines that the Timekeepers have destroyed? Then
no, they just see everything. In the people are going to be very confused because the Watchers really have not been focused on at all in the MCU, apart from that one bit from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. But no, the Watcher, they just can see things. They're not like all knowing for different universes and timelines. But there's just one timeline currently, and that's because a long time ago there was a multiversal war with loads of different timelines or multiverses fighting for supremacy. And then the Timekeepers were these 3 sort of godlike beings that they basically, I guess, they set up the TVA to control timelines and make sure that only one timeline happens.
Does that? I've heard some people. The rampant speculation for this is that that'll be how they go on the whole, like, well, everything is semi-canon in a way. Like, oh, the X-Men existed, and like the old X-Men existed in another timeline. The old Spider-Man existed in another timeline. They've all existed in another timeline. Is a kind of easy way to do it, I guess, isn't it? Like, it's to sort of say, like, well, but I don't understand why they would do that either. But then again, if they're going to do it in Multiverse of Madness, then I suppose that makes sense. It's just...
It would be cool if it was like just a wee wink being like, all those other universes, they're gone now. They're no longer. But yeah, basically it's sort of changed the game of the MCU, because it has canonized the fact that there is one timeline and it is being sort of protected and authorized by this corporation of the TVA. Second question: who is the bad variant Loki?
Lady Loki.
Probably, yes.
It's they've hinted at it with the fluid gender thing.
Somebody's
I think
singing.
In the...
We maybe know that Lady Loki's going to be. It's not been confirmed, but there is an actress who's in it that everyone is suspecting is going to be Lady Loki. In the trailers, people thought that it's Natasha, but it's not. It's probably Lady Loki. A character in the first episode points to a sort of what are they called? Stained glass window depicting a picture of the devil. And everyone
so it's Mephisto. Mephisto's coming, Jordi. Mephisto's coming. Because Jordi's coming, Jordi's coming, Mephisto's coming.
He's not.
No, it's Loki's horns, you fucking idiots.
It's his horns. He's green. That's it. Let Mephisto die. Be surprised when he appears. Yeah, that's all that was. It was basically just set up that it's Loki that Loki's going to be chasing. But that leads me into the second, not my second.
You've had a lot of second questions, Jordan.
My next question: what are the TVA up to? Well, we know that they are sort of their job is just keep one timeline going until the end of time, all of time. But are they the good guys? By the end of the show, will they still be the good guys? Will Owen Wilson be a good person?
No, not even in the slightest.
He will not be. Yeah, they are almost definitely going to turn out to be. Well, we've sort
They're
of
already
had the
kind of bad.
Yeah, we've not had the actual. We've not seen it on screen. What happens with those sort of reset bomb things that they keep putting down? And all we've seen is Loki's reaction to what it does. And what's probably going to turn out is that Lady Loki is going around trying to stop all these timelines being destroyed, because it's murder, it's genocide. It is killing loads of innocent lives for the action of one person.
What if she tries and takes all those reset bombs and tries to blow up the normal timeline, like the good timeline, which then sets up the multiverse of madness in a way? I don't know.
I was thinking she does that to the TVA. She goes to their sort of it seems like a sort of pocket dimension that exists outside of reality, and because it's like infinite. So yeah, she's probably going to go there and set off loads of bombs. She's probably going to get Loki to team up with her, and that's what they do, and that's how the series ends, and that's how the multiverse becomes part of the MCU. My internet has screwed us once again. The final question was just what is Josta? And I looked it up, and it was the first major energy drink made by PepsiCo.
There you go then.
Owen Wilson loves it.
Oh my God.
That's it. fantastic.
Amazing.
Have you seen anything? Message us, tweet us. You can find me at Real Jordi Steele on Twitter. You can also go to at Four Eyes Giant on Twitter and at Ohio Films on Twitter. Cameron, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at CamzoOG, ohifilms.com, doing lots of review shit. There is another podcast I do called 45-Minute Movies, a Vin Diesel podcast. We're coming to the end. We're doing Avengers and Bloodshot this week. And we're also doing... No, what am I doing?
I thought you were doing...
Last week we did...
Infinity War.
No, we've decided we've changed. Sorry. Last week we did Fast 8 and Guardians 2. This coming week I've decided to change things up a bit. We're going to do Infinity War and Endgame as one show. We're doing to fit with Fast and Furious. We're doing Avengers as one movie and Bloodshot as another movie, so we can do a full Fast 9 episode on the 25th. Okay. So that's why we've changed stuff a bit. So yeah, I'm at CamzoG on Twitter and ohifilms.com. So just go and subscribe, like, and comment down below if you've watched anything cool this week, or tweet us. So yeah, do all that nonsense.
We also have an Ohio Films YouTube channel. Cameron's got a video essay on it. It's really good. Watch it. There's maybe stuff in development, but who knows if
taking time.
I'll lose.
We're very busy people.
Yeah, very busy. Fantastic. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a lovely week. Goodbye.
See you later.